Good Monday morning. We are live from Glen Oaks Country Club out here in Nassau County, Long Island. A wonderful, beautiful, top-of-the-line golf course for the Boomer Esiason Foundation golf outing. And this place is off the charts. This golf outing is one of the best, and we're so fortunate to be here this morning. And it's a big day for the Boomer Esiason Foundation, so that's why we are here. We weren't going to miss this show, and we weren't going to miss this outing, and we knew it was an important day to be on the air with what happened last night with the Chiefs and the Jets. And I said going into that Cowboy game with the Jets that it was more important for Zach Wilson to play well than it was for them to win the game. Now, last night, I kind of felt the same way, but, man, they should have had it. They really should have had it. And I'm not going to say that it was all the defensive holding call. That was a terrible call, absolutely horrendous call in that situation. There's also the fumble. There's also the first half where the defense was a sieve. There was so many opportunities for the Jets to win that game, but you did get a quarterback who finally found his confidence for the first time as a pro. There was a Steeler game. There was a Titan game in there. There was the one up in Green Bay where they somehow found ways to win and he was just okay. This was the first time that he looked like the quarterback that Joe Douglas saw at BYU on an NFL field, and that you can build on. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jay, and it's great to be here at Glen Oaks, and thank you guys for coming all the way out here. Al was complaining to Jerry that it's like going to Florida, coming to Long Island, but yeah, this is our 30th year, and really excited about this year, and it's going to be a beautiful day. Given what happened on Friday, we're lucky to be here. Let's put it that way. There was a lot of conversation behind the scenes as to whether or not we're going to be able to pull this off, but we are. We have a great golf course, a lot of great people, and a lot of great companies that have supported us over the years. So we'll get into all of that as we go on here for the next 4 hours. But I have to tell you, so what you saw last night is exactly what Joe Douglas and Rob Saleh have been seeing in practice from Zach Wilson. You saw accuracy, you saw great back shoulder throws, you saw the arm strength, you saw everything that he can possibly be. And I think having Aaron Rodgers there, believe it or not, probably was something, and I feel like it really was something that was a positive effect on the entire team, because he did talk to the team on Saturday. He told the team to stop pointing fingers. And the other good thing that I saw last night was guys on the sideline, talking to each other, pumping each other up. It seemed like everybody was trying to really get in Zach's grill, saying, you got this, you can handle this. Sauce Gardner being one of those guys, too. So I love all that stuff. And you saw some great throws from him last night. So, again, that's what they see in practice. It just has not transformed consistently to the field. And then, unfortunately, he drops a shotgun snap that hits him right in the hands. And then after the game, I think he was a little over the top in blaming himself for losing the game. I mean, he played great. They could have won the game. They had Patrick Mahomes played one of his worst games. Oh. Patrick Mahomes was playing the game like Josh Allen played in week one. He was trying to give it to the Jets. And, very rarely do you ever catch him like that. And their offense has not been great at all this year. And the Jet defense, for the most part, got the turnovers that they needed in order to win this game. And maybe if they get that last turnover, which was a bogus call in my eyes, I don't care what anybody says. And I know these officials, they don't realize where they are in the game. They don't like, in the NBA where they say, let the guys play at the end of the game, or they say the same thing at the NHL. It's in the third period, the score is tied. Don't call some bogus penalty or some bogus foul. This one was it was a bad throw. It was off the mark. The so-called holding on Sauce Gardner did not play a role in that at all, I don't believe. But the officials aren't going to do that. They're not going to stuff their flags in their back pockets and not throw them in a situation like this. So it's frustrating as hell. They got the best out of Zach. Rob Saleh was going nuts on the sideline. I don't blame him for being so angry. It was just an opportunity that was wasted. And, that was a good team. That was a great game last night. And the other thing, I have to say, I was shocked. When I turned that TV on, the amount of red in that building was shocking to me.
Yeah, it wasn't to me, actually, because first you had the whole Taylor Swift thing, so people bought tickets because they thought she was going to be there, and she was, of course, and NBC made you know that right off the bat. And also, I think there was a lot of Jets fans that saw what happened against New England and was like, I really want to, on a Sunday night, watch my team get steamrolled, but they did not. And Zach Wilson, the throws he was making, I did not think he was capable of. I did not think that it was ever going to happen. So that is the thing you build off of, and you come out of this game going, okay, 1-3. You got to play the Broncos now coming up, who are not a good football team. The Jets are still an underdog going out there. You have the whole Sean Payton, Nathaniel Hackett thing. Maybe you get to 2-3. You got the Eagles after that. But these were conversations we weren't having at all prior to Zach Wilson playing like that last night. It was, this season is going to go to hell. Someone else has to play the position. I still don't know if he's going to be consistently able to give them a chance offensively, but he did something he has never done in his career last night, with the entire world crumbling on him on national TV, down 17-0. They were about to be completely embarrassed last night. 52-6, something stupid. It was 17-0 in the first quarter. 3 and out right away. Boos. Here we go again. There's Taylor Swift. There's this, there's that. And Zach Wilson made it so NBC didn't have Taylor Swift be the story. He made himself the story, and then the Jet defense figured it out, but they were miserable in the beginning of this game, figured it out, and made Patrick Mahomes frustrated enough to get that game 20-20 late in the fourth quarter.
And also, late in the game, they were playing a lot of man coverage, and this is one of the reasons why Patrick Mahomes was able to run with the ball. So if you're back there and your wide receivers and tight ends are all going down the field 30 yards, and the defensive backfield and linebackers have their back turned to the quarterback, we call it a form of what they call cover 2 man, where there's 2 deep safeties and there's man coverage underneath, and all those guys underneath end up turning their back. And if the longer he holds it, the more apt he's to run it, because he's not going to throw the ball. He actually threw a ball down the middle of the field last night. I believe it was in the third quarter. I mean, it was like one of the worst passes I've ever seen him throw.
He was terrible last night.
I mean, it only won about 30 yards and went right into the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about, but I just it was an opportunity that was missed for sure. There's a lot of things you can go through. You can look at a lot of this stuff at the beginning of the game, the way the game started, the way the defense was getting pushed around, but it all changed with that safety.
Yeah.
That's where the whole game really changed in my eyes, and I think in a lot of people's eyes. And all of a sudden the Jets furiously fought all the way back to get this thing tied at 20, which was amazing. I mean, it was an amazing comeback. It was amazing, especially that first drive in the third quarter.
Yeah. And I think that because they were down as much as they were, it actually helped Zach Wilson. It was almost like something went off in his head, and I can't sit here and diagnose what he's thinking, but watching it felt to me like he was like, finally said, F it. Finally, he got to that point. Because some of these other games that they were in, they were close. Like the Patriot game was close. Everything felt very tense the entire game. I can't make a mistake here. I can't throw an interception there. And it got to the point where they're down 17 points where he's just like, screw it. I'm just going to throw the ball. I'm just going to do whatever it is that is inside of me that I have not been able to find the last 3 years. So I think the fact that they got down early somehow lifted pressure off him even more, because he was throwing the ball like, screw this, I don't care anymore. And some of those back shoulder throws that he was throwing, we haven't seen that at all.
No, and that's Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly how Aaron Rodgers would throw the ball, and it obviously there was a profound effect, positive effect, that Aaron came back this weekend and met with the team and talked to the team. I'm sure he was talking to Zach. And, when he threw a couple of those touchdown passes, you saw, Aaron was really clapping up there like he's really happy for the kid. And I think we all are, given the fact that he's been through, the meat grinder as an athlete here in this city. And unfortunately for him, he makes the key mistake and drops a snap. I mean, and that's the thing that, you just got to get rid of. I mean, you just got to get rid of those crucial mistakes and the crucial moments. And that's the thing that, you hope that he learns. And, even after the game, he talked about how that was, a big reason why they lost the game. It's just one issue. A lot of guys made a lot of mistakes last night. I thought the pass protection was better. I thought, he made quicker decisions. Steve Spagnuolo played a lot more man coverage. I think they were daring Zach to throw the ball, back shoulder to Conklin, back shoulder to Sauce. And how about the one catch that Garrett Wilson makes on the sideline, where I don't know how he doesn't bobble the ball or anything, and he catches it with his hands. And Chris Collinsworth was like, how did he make that catch? It was unbelievable. So there were a lot of really great things, but also it's frustrating this morning that you wake up that the team does end up playing as well as it did, and Patrick Mahomes played as poorly as he did, and yet they're the ones leaving with the win.
Yeah, which is the catch-22 of it all is, if they would have gotten blown out, you feel like, okay, this is just a mess now. The season's going down the toilet. And then if they would have played a competitive game and Zach played well, you're like, okay, there's a little bit of positivity. But they were so good in that second half and then starting in the second quarter when after the safety, and they should have won the game, that even though there's positives, you wake up this morning, you go to bed last night, if you can go to sleep if you're a Jets fan, pissed off. I mean, you're pissed off again, but for a different reason. You're pissed off because they should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. Not that they got blown out, not that they lost to a team that was worse than them, not that they looked terrible, but they should have won the game, and there was a couple critical issues there. And it just back to the Sauce holding call. To me, the reason why it's not a holding call is, yes, his hand is on Valdez-Scantling's back. He does not grab his jersey at all. His hand is an open hand the entire time, and it's clear on every single replay.
Well, you're not allowed to touch the receivers past 2 yards down the field. You know that.
But come on. First of all, they called holding. They didn't call illegal contact.
Dude, I am totally against the call. I am. I'm with you 100%. I'm just telling you that in the lens of the official, if he sees anything that disrupts the route of the wide receiver, they're going to throw the flag every time, and that's part of making the NFL more offensive. They want more points. They want more big plays. They want to keep quarterbacks out on the field, and it was a horrendous call. I'm right there with you. I can't. I've been on both sides of that. I've been on the Patrick Mahomes side of it, and I've been on the Zach Wilson side of it, and it really does deflate you as a coach. It deflates you as a team, and you could see Rob Saleh. I don't think I've seen him that mad.
Well, first, and I was actually getting annoyed because at first he didn't have any reaction, but he was waiting for the replay. So they go over to him after the call, and like Brian Daboll, usually the second that there's a call against this team before the replay, he's screaming at the official. So Rob Saleh's just standing there, and he's waiting. Then he sees the replay. Then he goes nuts. And he went so crazy that he ended up getting that personal foul at the end of the game that allowed the clock to just run out. The Chiefs didn't even need to take that last knee because they ran the clock out because he was screaming at that official.
Well, I think he probably felt like the game was over at that point.
Well, it was over, but I'm just saying that's how angry he was, just to illustrate the fact that he was that pissed off about it, that he got himself a personal foul. But I thought that was actually good to see, but it was a bad call. The Jets earned a victory last night.
All right, so here, all right, so
and they didn't get it.
Here's the deal: they're on the road to the Broncos, and then they have the Eagles and the Giants. And I'm telling you, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is a pain in the ass to play against. They got great wide receivers, but their defense isn't what it was last year.
As evidenced yesterday.
And I have to tell you that none of these teams. Maybe the Bills right now are probably playing the best in the league. The Bills and the 49ers, I would think, are the two teams that are playing the best in the league overall.
And the Jets won winners against that team.
Which is amazing. So, look, all of these teams that are coming up on the Jets' schedule, if Zach Wilson is going to look like he did last night, I'm right there with Rob Saleh. They're going to win a lot of games. I mean, they have slogged through these first 4 weeks, and they have not played a great game. And last night it was close to being a great game. And the one thing I will say, even though they got down 17-0, the defense does deserve credit for making both Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen look ordinary in their own building.
Yes. Yeah, but it was the beginning of the game that you felt like, who are these guys? That's everybody was tweeting out, 85 Bears, this historic defense, and they were right. And if you don't dig yourself that hole, there aren't guys running wide open all over the place, maybe you have a shot at winning this game. So
yeah, the other thing, too, I will say, local kid, Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, awesome
He had
night.
An unbelievable night.
Awesome
he had
night.
A great night, so you got to take your hat off to that young man. I don't know what he looked like. He was on something last night.
Well, he was doing those push-ups. Yeah, he was on adrenaline, man.
But, dude, he was flying. I mean, for 4 quarters, he was flying.
Hometown spot.
Yeah, it was definitely a hometown spot for him. It'd be like you going back to Bellport and us doing a radio show there or something. You'd be geeked.
Well, that's what I was when we did the Blue Point show, man. Come on.
You were geeked.
Fired up.
Definitely geeked. But I don't know, man. I don't want to take – they, as a team, are not going to take any of these moral victories. They lost the game, and that's what matters. And Zach fumbles a snap that hits him right in the hand that should have never have happened, and that was in the meat of the game. That was right there. The game was right there to be won, and unfortunately that happens. So they got to get rid of that. But, man, did you see the arm talent?
Yeah, no, of course, yes.
So that's what they see in practice.
That's what we've never seen from him on an NFL field. And the season changed last night with his play because now you feel like he is capable of scoring touchdowns. Last night, going into this game, I didn't think he was capable of that because he hadn't shown me a thing in his pro career that could make me believe that. So that's why I was so heavy on the Chiefs. Like, how the hell are they going to score any points, the Jets?
And this is for Zach Wilson now. It's about consistency. It's about doing it each week and giving your team a chance. Especially the offensive line, I thought, played an okay game last night. They ran the ball okay. You know that long run that Breece Hall had?
Yeah, of course.
I couldn't see the all-22. I'll watch it this morning when we go into break. I thought he was going to break that for a touchdown. I felt like he ran right back into the safety that made the tackle.
Yeah, I don't know. He did remember he got caught from behind too in that one big run a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he's totally there yet.
I thought I don't know. I just felt like he could break away, and NBC never showed an all-22 of it, but it was a. God, they had so many big plays.
I know. I would have liked to see them go for it on a couple of the third and shorts. I would like to see them
fourth and shorts. You mean
third and shorts. Yeah, we're going to punt on third down.
Right.
That would be a very Jet thing to do. I'd like to see them go for it a couple on the fourth and shorts. And kicking field goals. It just felt like, man, you got him on the ropes here. You got him on the ropes.
I still think that the Zerline kick at the end, that's a 50-50 call. You got some momentum. What do you do? I mean, I'm attempting the field goal. I am. I'm trying to get us points.
All gas, no brakes, huh?
Well,
send them out.
It's also
team.
You also have to remember that you're in the midst of a game and you're trying to figure out the right thing to do and you're trying to come away with points and you don't want and unfortunately he doinks it, but Zerline doinks it. But I still think that there's a discussion one way or the other, and that's what football is, and that's why we now have the opportunity to see the game, react to the game, and then we can all make our decisions as to whether or not the decisions were right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's Zerline, right? Not Zerloin.
Zerline?
I think it's Zerline.
Zerline?
Because I think Jerry says Zerloin.
Did I say Zerline?
And you said Zerloin. And it's
Zerline.
Like loin is a kind of a weird thing,
Zerline, Al?
I think Zerline.
Yeah. Zerline.
Yeah.
Did I say Zerline?
I don't recall. I don't recall hearing loins.
I said loin?
I heard loin.
That's bad on my part.
I
mean, he's been around. How about just Greg the Leg?
Yeah,
how about
Legatron?
Yeah,
but Jerry, that's one of Jerry's things. Is Zerloin when he was with the Cowboys there? And Zerloin comes out. I'm like, man,
that's right. He was with the Cowboys. Man, God dang it,
been everywhere.
Cowboys,
yeah.
Right?
That's right. All right, Boomer and Gio live from Glen Oaks Country Club, the Boomer Esiason Foundation golf outing, talking Jets in the NFL.